Do not compromise. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And in this video, I'm going to share with you why compromising blocks your manifestation. So let's get started. Do not compromise when you are manifesting your desires. Now, compromising is probably one of the biggest things that prevents so many people from crossing that finish line and actually manifesting the thing that they desire. When you compromise, the signal that you are emitting or radiating to the universe is, I don't want my manifestation. That is the energetic signal that you're sending the universe every single time you compromise. And therefore, if this becomes what you're an energetic match to, then you cannot manifest the actual thing that you desire. Instead, you're manifesting what you're getting in front of you because you're saying, oh yeah, I'll take this. I no longer want my actual desire. That is what is happening on a vibrational, energetic level. So when you compromise, it's not even about the compromising itself, it's about the energetics behind it. And most people compromise because they don't really believe that they can get the full-blown manifestation of what they want. So it's a question of like, okay, I'm just going to take whatever I can get, or it's close enough. So they don't quite believe they can have it all, which is why they compromise, or they don't believe they can have better or that they can get better. So again, people compromise from fear of not really being able to get what it is that they want. I've seen so many people do this with so many different types of manifestations. I've seen people do this with relationships. People want to manifest their dream relationship. And they start doing the energy work, the inner work. They start changing their energy and they get movement. So they start getting people showing interest in them, people asking them out. And a lot of the times, maybe they're dating somebody, but that person isn't 100% of what they're looking for, but maybe it's 70 or 80% of what they're looking for. And then they settle because they don't believe they can really get 100% of what they're looking for. They fear that if they don't take this, they're not going to get anything better. And without realizing it, they just shot themselves in the foot, because if they had stayed faithful to their manifestation and not compromised, the next person that would have walked into their life would have been their dream relationship. So compromising stops you from manifesting what you want. When you settle for less from the fear of you're not going to get anything better, or from the fear of you don't think that it will really happen for you, then you can only get what you believe you will get. Meaning, you can only manifest what you believe at that point in time you can get. So if you don't stay faithful to the fact that actually you can have it all, if in your mind you believe, well, you can't have it all and you're never going to get 100% of what you want, then that's exactly what you're going to manifest. You're going to manifest exactly that. People have also done this with jobs, like with their dream jobs. Maybe they'll get an offer for a specific job and it's not exactly 100% what they're looking for. It may not even be the pay that they're looking for, but it's still more pay than their previous job, so they take it. Again, settling for less, compromising without realizing that they just shot themselves in the foot, because if they had stayed on track with the vibrational work and stayed faithful to the end, their dream job with the salary that they wanted was around the corner and would have flown into their experience. Like an example of how this has worked in my own life is, many years back when I used to work in corporate London, I remember wanting to manifest my dream job within corporate London. So I was in a specific position where I felt like I'd outgrown it. I wasn't satisfied there anymore. So I decided to get clear about what I wanted, about what the job entailed. I got clear about how I wanted the job to feel. I wanted to feel excited about it and fulfilled. I wanted an amazing team that were collaborative and cooperative. I thought about all these things, and then I had the salary amount. And I really went for an amount that was, like, from a human perspective, ridiculous. It was like an 82% pay rise. But I was like, if I can manifest whatever I want, if I'm truly creative in my reality, then this is what I want. So I went for it and I started doing the energetic work. I started doing the inner work. And as soon as I started doing that, there was movement. I remember internally within the same company, I got offered another role where they were going to increase my pay by 10K. But this did not equate to my 82% pay rise, and it wasn't exactly everything I was looking for. So at that time, I had two choices. Either I could take this new role, although it wasn't 100% of what I was looking for, so I could have settled, or I stay on track and stay faithful to the end result. And I chose to stay on track to the end result. I wasn't going to settle for less. I wasn't going to compromise. So I stayed faithful to the end, meaning I turned down that offer. And people thought I was crazy. And I didn't care because I knew what I was doing internally, and I knew that my manifestation was done and that it was on its way. So I stayed faithful to what I wanted. And then a week later, I'm talking to a friend, we're having a conversation, and casually I'm telling them, yeah, I'm looking for something different. I'm looking for a different role. And then I explained to them what I'm looking for. And they mentioned that they know somebody that they're going to connect me with, and that, you know, this person was going to reach out to me. And so I was like, okay, amazing. So I get an email the next day, and this person tells me to come have coffee with them so that we could sort of get a feel of one another. So I go for a coffee with them. They told me about the job and the role, and they already know about my experience because I had already emailed them my curriculum vitae, my CV. And within 5 minutes of the conversation, they're like, oh, you have the job. And the job was exactly what I was looking for. And on top of that, the next minute, they write down the salary amount that I would be getting. And this amount, of course, equated to my 82% pay rise that I had set as my intention. So this is a great example of how I stayed faithful to the outcome. I could have settled for less in the middle, but I didn't. I knew my manifestation was done. I turned down that job offer in the knowingness that my dream job was coming with my dream salary. And that is exactly what I got. So I did not compromise in my vibration. I stayed faithful to the end result. Another example of how I did this just recently was about a month ago. I was supposed to go to an Abraham Hicks cruise, and the night before I was supposed to fly out, my flights got cancelled, and this happened like 9 p.m. so we couldn't even contact the airline to discuss other flight options. My flight got cancelled, and so I was looking for alternative flights, but there was nothing available because there was actually a strike in Rome, which is where I was flying into, that I didn't know about, but there was a air traffic control strike, so there was like no flights available. And initially I was in survival mode, and I got really triggered thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna miss the cruise, I'm gonna miss this Abraham Hicks cruise. And I started thinking, gosh, what if I don't make it? I can't believe that I'm not gonna make it. I was sort of in survival mode and triggered about it for 10 minutes before I noticed what I was doing and before I noticed I was in a program. So then I paused, I stopped, and I self-regulated my emotions. I did some breath work in the moment to come back to alignment because I knew that I had to change my energy if I wanted to manifest a different outcome. So I changed my energy. And then after changing my energy, when I felt relaxed and I felt like I was in my heart, I imagined myself on the last day of the cruise. So I went to the end and I imagined myself reminiscing about how wonderful the cruise was whilst being on the cruise with my husband and friends. And as I did this and I opened my eyes, I went back online to search for flights, whereas previously no flights were available. There was zero. In the moment that I did that little process, I go back online, suddenly out of nowhere, a flight appears. And there are 2 seats left on this flight, and it's business class flights, which is amazing because that is exactly how I would have traveled anyway. So I quickly book the flights and download my boarding pass onto my phone, and I am on a flight now to Rome, and I absolutely make the Abraham Hicks Greek island cruise. So again, this is an example of how I did not compromise. So initially, yes, I was triggered, but when I noticed I was triggered, I did something about it. I understood that I'm the creator of my reality, and there is a timeline, a parallel reality where I'm already on that cruise and I'm on a flight, and I became faithful to that. That was the only reality that existed in my mind once I got out of survival mode through breath work. So I got into my heart, I imagined myself there, and then suddenly a flight appeared on my laptop, which was not there before, and I was able to go on the Abraham Hicks cruise. So again, this is about keeping your vibration pure. When you stay faithful to the outcome, you become a powerful magnet for what you want. Whereas if you compromise, I could have compromised and said, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get there on time for this cruise. I could have sort of stayed in that energy. And if I stayed in that energy, that's exactly what I would have manifested. But I didn't compromise. And I changed my reality within like 15, 20 minutes. So again, this is an example of how if you don't compromise, if you stay faithful to the end, this means even if things show up in your 3D reality that oppose what it is that you want to manifest, you ignore it. How do you ignore it? By staying faithful. You choose faith over fear. You self-regulate your emotions if you're in fear through breath work. You get back into your heart. It matters most during the challenging times. That's when it matters. This work matters the most when shit hits the ceiling, or when your reality shows you things that you do not prefer. That's when this work matters most. Not when things are easy. When things are going well, it's easy to feel good. But the true test is when things don't appear to go well, or maybe when you're not getting exactly what you want. How do you choose to respond to it vibrationally? Do you choose to turn inwards and do the inner work and self-regulate your emotions? That's when it matters most. And that's how you stop yourself from compromising. Because yes, you might be triggered, but that doesn't matter. If you self-regulate your emotions back into alignment, then you raise your vibration and you get back to being an energetic match to your desires. From there, you just stay faithful. You stay faithful to the end result. And if you do this, your manifestation will show up in your reality very quickly. It will happen fast. So my message here is do not compromise. The analytical mind will find ways to try and make you compromise. It will start to chatter. You'll start to hear all these thoughts about, but can it really happen for me? What if nothing better comes of it? What if I can't get something better? What if it never happens for me? What if this just doesn't work? All these thoughts will come up. That's normal when you're in fear and when you're in survival mode. But your job is to see it for what it really is. Because if you do settle for less from fear of it not happening, or from fear of not getting something better, then you have just missed that opportunity of your manifestation. If you settle for less, that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get what you settle for, and you can't get anything more than that. Whereas if you stay committed to the inner work and you stay faithful to the end, no matter what, your manifestation will come to you quickly. You will get every single thing that lights up your soul. Now, if you would like a roadmap that shows you how to change your energy and how to have unwavering levels of faith, then you can get your hands on my manifestation courses by clicking the link below in the description box. Also, if you would like to learn how to impress your subconscious mind so that you become an energetic match to your desires, then you can watch my video here next, How to Impress Your Subconscious Mind with Ease. Finally, thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful, beautiful day or evening. Mwah.